Hello, hello, hello.
Hello.
Kirsten, how are you?
Good. How are you, Mark?
I'm super great. So, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for being with us today on YouTube or Facebook, wherever you are. And we appreciate you joining us for Watch Wednesday. And today we have Kirsten Edor with us, who is from Opus / the company. So, welcome to the program, and thank you so much for being with us today.
Hi, everyone. Thank you for having me.
So what's going on? Tell me, what do you got going on in your dance world?
Yeah, so Opus, the company, was officially founded or launched last November. So we're actually coming up on almost a year at this
Oh
point.
wow.
Um, we started with a piece that we are actually lucky enough to present at Riverdance this month called Shut Eye. It's like a beautiful duet with two of my friends, Anne and Chloe. And we were lucky enough, we started working on a new piece, and we were accepted into the inaugural Montclair Dance Festival that happened this past May, which Roxey was also at. And the company just kind of took like an impromptu tour. We went to Koresh Dance Company a few times. We performed at the Y on 14th Street with One Day Dance. We've done performances at Dixon Place, Moving Body Salon, at Moving Body Resources. Yeah, and we have worked with all types of collaborators, filmmakers, and poets, and other choreographers and dancers, which has just been such an honor. And currently, we are prepping for our first evening length show, just a big accumulation of all the work we've made so far. So, yeah, that's what we're gearing up for at the moment.
Wow. So
Yeah.
man, you guys are rocking. You're doing so much.
Yeah, we've been fortunately very busy, which has been wonderful.
Listen. Busy beats a blank.
Yes, it
You
does.
know, it's so great. I get personally inspired hearing you talk about all that you're doing. It's great that you're attending all these festivals and really getting your work out there. And when we were looking at all the works, Lindsay and I were really really excited about having you come and present your work for the community here. And can't wait till you get here, and
Thank you.
can't wait to meet your other dancers. And how did you even get into dancing? Lead us.
Oh,
Tell
it's a loaded
tell
question.
yeah, like tell the listeners who are watching you, and maybe even some of your dancers and people that you're working with that are in your community, they don't know. Like, how did you get into dancing?
So I started dancing in my life at a very young age, and I was put into competitive dance. So I've done that whole thing. And
Wow.
then when I was 15, or 14, I was fortunate enough to go to a vocational school, which offered me like a more concert contemporary program.
Yeah.
And I choreographed for the first time at that program. You choreograph when you're 15 years old. And I remember just feeling so inspired and rewarded by watching people watch my work. And I knew from that moment I wanted to be a maker. And I'm also very fortunate. I have a family of artists with me right now. I have a brother who's a music composer, a younger
Wow.
sister who does singing and songwriting, works with the producer. She's only 17. And I have an older sister who has danced by my side my whole life. So I am constantly surrounded by collaborators, even just in my own home. So a priority of the company is actually like collaboration with artists of all mediums. It's something we really prioritize.
Wow, Kirsten,
Yeah.
that's amazing. So your brother is, let me get this right. Your
Mhm.
brother is a composer.
Yes.
your sister is one of your sisters is a singer
Mhm.
songwriter,
Yeah.
and then your other sister is a dancer by your side all the time.
Yes, and she actually the
Yo,
other one does, arts administration now for dance, so she's
oh,
kind of
perfect.
my, like, secret spy for Opus when she has to
You
produce songs and
basically
all that
have
stuff.
your entire artistic team right there at
Exactly,
your hip.
right at home. It's
That's
great.
so cool.
It's very cool, I'm very lucky.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's that's really beautiful. And
yeah,
so, for those listening in, if you have brothers, sisters, make sure they're in music, dance, make sure they're in
exactly.
the arts, man. It's so
Yeah,
cool. Well,
yeah.
my kids, my both of my children have
Mm,
danced since they were born. I mean, they've been
mm,
dancing even when they were in their mother's womb, and
yeah,
uh, they're both in the arts. One's in the healing arts, and one is, in dance. She's a dancer as well,
yeah.
and it's just so beautiful. My wife, was a principal dancer,
Mm,
absolutely gorgeous professional dancer, and we're a dancing family too, and
amazing.
just,
Beautiful.
yeah, it really is, and so uh, I really recognize that. Great,
Yeah,
great for you and your family and your
thank you.
parents. Your parents, I'd love to meet them. They're awesome. If they, have raised these amazingly talented artists, they must be really cool too.
My mom is, a hairdresser, which is its own art form, and
Yeah.
my dad has played in bands and, yeah, plays guitar, so he's taught me those skills, and learning guitar and piano and other art skills has
Uh,
just made me so much more appreciative of, body movement
well, and how about your musicality?
and
Not
musicality. Yeah.
having your understanding of musicality and understanding
Mhm.
how to string phrases together, how
Yeah,
music is brought together, how music is played. Like
absolutely.
that's because dance. I say this to all the dancers that I
Mm,
work with, the company, and the young dancers that I have the great fortune of teaching, which is that dance is visual music, man. It's
mhm.
literally it
Yeah,
is visual music.
it
It
is.
and when you can produce that, you've got something really, really special in the work that you create.
Yeah.
So
Absolutely.
tell me about your company. Tell us about the mission, the philosophy of the company. I've read it. I would love if you could just
Yeah.
share, paraphrase to the audience that is watching us.
Yeah. So, the way I describe it to especially my parents who are non-dancers, in non-dream language, is that a lot of our choreography is rooted in universal human experiences. So Shut Eye specifically, I'll use that as an example, is an kind of an ode to bedrooms and like the special intimate space of a bedroom.
Yeah.
So the piece starts with two kids in a fort, in like a pillow fort, and then it progresses to like an intimate relationship, a romantic relationship. It goes between sisters, mother and daughter, kind of like a caretaking, and like all of the things that are just experienced in a bedroom throughout one's lifetime. So a lot of our work is rooted in similar things. We've had pieces just about coping with death. That was one of the works that we've been recently showing. We've done poetry studies that we've had the honor to participate in a Threat to Democracy show. So we've been integrating a little bit more of a political message into our work, and just yeah, like experiences that can be spoken through a more universal lens because I have firsthand experience with inviting non-dancers to come see my dance shows and it feeling a little too abstract for them. So
Yeah.
a big mission of our work is something that can just reach all audiences and all eyes. So everyone can leave with, even if it wasn't the intention of the piece, leave with a message that they've kind of curated by watching the work themselves.
Yeah, and I think you've touched on a bunch of different things there when you're talking about um, coping with death and really
Mm,
trying to all of these topics, democracy, these are all
mm,
so relevant to the world that we're living in today, and it's just so I applaud you for really taking on those topics because a lot of times uh, we go to dance to literally have the mirror brought up in front of us, and
mhm.
see our lives, and we can
Yeah,
understand our lives and the lives of other people better. And I think it's just so beautiful that you are moving in that direction and your work is currently in that state. Um, I also wondered what are your thoughts about, the current state of our world in terms of NEA cutting funding, or not, NEA
Mm.
is not cutting funding, but the funding being cut
Right.
via the NEA, and just the general view of the arts uh,
Mm.
as people in our world look at us. What is it that you feel about that, and also what is it that you hope they see?
Right. Yeah, the NEA cuts were definitely devastating because I remember at the time when they first were defunded, I was myself applying to grants, of course, as being a company that's only a few months in, looking for space and yeah, just trying to find, that like megaphone of, oh, I hope someone listens to this and I hope someone watches my work.
Right.
And I think it's most important now more than ever because in a world where we're so like divisive, and that's where I go back to that universal lens, is we're so divided, and it's very hard to find that platform that we all can like feel and breathe through. So I hope that my work can at least, kind of connect people who might feel that they have such different experiences, but really see that we're all the same. And I think it's very important to support other artists if you're in the arts field yourself, especially because I'm coming to the quick realization that we're kind of all we got. I can pull my family members to come watch and stuff, but the people that need to support us are the people in our own community. So I really encourage everyone to, try to get to your friends' shows, try to go see as much as you can. Um, and just I think it's a form of education too. I preach that constantly. I think art is just like an education that schools don't always give, especially now when it's getting pulled out of school programs, is if you can try to implement it in your life. I think it's so important with the state of the world being in kind of this like perpetual panic right now. It's very important to disconnect, but also, like dive further into what we're experiencing through art if you can like try to see it in a new lens.
No, I mean, what you're saying is brilliant, and again, it's really great to get into your, to really understand who you are, because we've actually never met. This is the
Yeah, no,
first
we
time that
haven't
I'm going
met.
to get to see your work, and I'm so excited to see it.
Thank you.
But I just applaud you for being a choreographer, and what you said about bringing people together, especially those of us that are all in this shared experience as artists. We oftentimes work in vacuums, and one of the main reasons why I created this festival was because not only were our dancers, not having a place to work or not having a place to really showcase what they're doing, but there are so many choreographers in the tri-state area and in the country that aren't
Mhm.
capable of producing a full-length concert in a theater that costs $30,000 to $50,000 to produce. And it's like when we have limited resources as a professional dance company as well. We're celebrating our 30th year. It's just as hard now as it was year one.
Yeah,
And
for
one of
sure.
the things for us is let's share our resources, let's
Mhm.
bring people together and give people an opportunity to share and produce work and also build their audiences. Our audiences
Mhm.
don't belong to us. Our job is to help
Mhm.
educate them and make them dance lovers for life.
Yeah.
And we do that better together than we do it separately.
Mhm.
And so that really is the overarching goal and strategic goal for us, is to really, and then we get to see your work, and
Mhm.
it's really um, a great opportunity for us to be able to be the hosts of this festival as well. And I just want to stop and take a moment to thank, the New Jersey State Council on the Arts, the National Endowment for the Arts, for supporting these types of projects that really do give, tremendous opportunities to choreographers and dancers as well, and all of our funders and supporters and sponsors. Thank you so much for helping us to produce this concert and all of the other things that we're doing as well. And thank you to Kirsten and your company for
Mhm.
even uh, you know applying, and being
Yeah.
here, and being with us, and we're super excited. So tell us about the music that's going to be in your piece. What is that?
Sure. Oh, so the music is an original score by actually one of my old professors at Montclair State University. So at Montclair, one of the classes that we take is like a music for dancers course where you just learn about, rhythm and playing and accompaniment mostly. And Glenn Fitton has been not only a professor of mine, but a mentor and actually like a close friend of mine. He once I met him at MSU, he immediately became engaged with my work and has been such an advocate and a supporter, and I'm so grateful for him. And he sent me music in 2024 when we were, I knew I had to make a work for a split bill show, and I started conceiving the idea for Shut Eye, and he just randomly, I already had other music picked out, but then I got a text from Glenn saying he and his collaborator made a new album and to check it out. And the minute I heard the piece of music, I like knew it was perfect for the duo. So I swapped that right out with the old music.
Wow.
Yeah,
Amazing,
yeah.
amazing. Original music,
Original
like
music.
priceless, right?
Yep.
Another shout out to New Music USA for, uh, always contributing to the arts.
Mm,
Shout out because they're one of the few funding organizations that actually
mm,
give music to for dance for new music.
right.
It's really really such a powerful initiative, and
Yeah.
there are other groups that are doing it as well, but we really uh, last year I did a piece that I premiered in the festival, and it was funded by New Music USA, and so shout out to them.
Great.
We're still, it's great.
Yeah.
So can I ask you,
Mhm,
when you're in the studio
mhm,
and you're conceiving a project and you're working on a project, walk us through, like, how are you working with your dancers? Tell us about that
yeah,
process, what you expect from them, what they expect from you, and what
mm.
is the culture there?
Yeah, sure. My dancers are a lot of them are people that I'm close with. I've recently started working with dancers who I've just seen and been craving to be in a studio with. So when I bring in new people, the first thing we do is we like sit in a cute little circle and talk about just expectations both ways, boundaries, kind of touch on the concept or topic a little bit and their relationship to it because like I said they're usually pretty universal concepts, so we'll sit there and talk, and if they don't have a specific relationship with it, that's where we start talking about like character work, and putting on what we kind of are conceiving for the project. And then choreographically, we usually start with something very collaborative. Collaboration is a huge part of the opus process. So we'll usually start with, like a task list or just exploring one concept in the space. It's a lot of them moving and myself just talking over random music that's playing. And then when I see things, I'm a big doodler, so I'm doodling, I'm writing down as I'm watching, and then we kind of just form and build from there. We do a lot of like separate ideas and then put them in a chronology after that. But yeah, that's typically the process. It differs from work to work depending on how many people are in the space, how much feedback I'm getting from them. I just kind of like feel the room and see what would be most appropriate for that specific cast.
Yeah, and so what are the audience what can the audience
Mm.
expect in your work? Like, describe your work to the audience and what you hope they get out of the process.
Sure. I would say the number one word that I've been hearing people use actually about my own work is honesty. And I think that derives a lot from the movement being so raw and pedestrian. So it's really not masked by dance technique or a dance vocabulary too much. It's a lot of pedestrian movement. It's a lot of relationships that seem very familiar to the audience. I remember when we made Shut Eye, my boyfriend making a joke about like, "Oh, that just is what we do when we hang out," and I was like, "I hope that's what the audience can grab." So as much as the audience can see themselves in the dancers is my goal as much as possible.
Wow. No, that's so great, man. Our future's bright. Our future's bright. I love it. I cannot wait to see your work.
Thank you.
How can we learn more about your company. Give us some information on how we
So
can find out more about you and your
yeah,
company.
we are very active, hyperactive on Instagram. So I would recommend following at Opus the Company. No slashes in the name, just Opus the Company. In that bio, we have ticket links constantly. We have posts always about work that's upcoming. We have our website linked in there, which is a great way to stay involved. On the website, we have upcoming events. So there are a lot of loopholes to see what we got going on. I will say August 30th, right after Riverdance, we have a show called Cross Creatives, which is a workshop that we hosted back in May. And we invite emerging choreographers and people interested in making to come. They get 3 hours of workshop time with completely randomized dancers, so people that they might not necessarily know, and they just get to try out material. It's a pay what you can event, so everyone just comes. They contribute as much as they can to Opus, and they enjoy the workshop. They get to work with new people, and on August 30th, anyone from that workshop who continued their work or wanted to continue their process were able to, and they'll be showing that in Montclair, New Jersey. So if you're around August 30th, we have 6 fantastic pieces by some of my friends who are at the workshop making.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow, wow, wow. That's amazing. So I can't wait to see you at the River Dance Festival. For those of you
Yeah,
that are
that's
tuning in, tickets for the River Dance Festival are available at www.roxeyballet.org. Seats are filling fast. We hope that you will get your seats and come out and see these Opus, the company. But there are 30 dance companies over the course of 3 performances. You won't want to miss it. You can get a dance pass. I believe the dance pass is there's a dance pass, right? You get uh, three entrance into all three of the shows, right? So you can find out information at www.roxeyballet.org/Riverdance Festival if you want to learn about the dance pass. And otherwise, we're gonna see you, Kirsten O. How do you say your last name again?
Edor.
Oh, huh?
Edor.
Edor. Yes, that's a tricky one. Um,
Yep.
but so excited to meet you in person, and I can't wait to see your work.
Thank
So
you.
until then, God bless you, and we'll see you soon.
Thank you, Mark. So nice meeting you.
Oh,
See you
it's
all at
a pleasure.
Riverdance.
Okay, goodbye.
Bye.